Do not give a name to the farm animal you intend to raise for slaughter.
What is in a name? Maybe everything. When I give something a name, I choose my relationship to it. In fact, the name becomes the container I use to hold my chosen relationship. My relationship is held in the story or poetry I use to identify that other. This is also true in the name I choose to give to my primary relationship. I name it, I claim it. I name a name, and I claim a relationship. The myth or story I create creates me. I create my myth, and my myth creates me. What name do I give the ultimate reality increasingly present in my consciousness?
In Genesis, Adam gives all the animals names, but finds none for himself.
Naming the name is very important. And a fire happens, my house burns up, the floods happen and house gets destroyed. And if the kids say, that's bad luck, that's misfortune, I can live through it, that is not the same as saying God gives and takes away all things, and I will be able to look at what has happened and I'm going to respond with a positive heart. And unless you name the name of what's happening, then it will always be good luck, bad luck. And I don't want my kids going with such a poverty expression in life. Life goes on, we'll make it through. That's not enough to give life meaning. There has to be some way of you say, life's not just gonna go on, someone's died, life is gonna go on, I'm gonna make it through. No. But I see the awesome in this. I see that which makes me grow. And if the name is not God, then you got to create the name.
Wait a second. How did God get in here? I'm not certain if I'm comfortable with this language. I thought we were talking about myths and stories and relationships.
Yes, myths and stories, but more importantly, that to which the great myths and stories and wisdom traditions direct our attention. Joseph Campbell and Al Lingo can provide some perspective on this journey to express a name and choose a relationship to ultimate reality.
Is there a God? If the word God means anything, it must mean nothing. God is not a fact. A fact is an object in the field of time and space, an image in the dream field. God is no dream. God is no fact. God is a word referring us past anything that can be conceived of or named. God is not a noun, but a verb.
So the great teacher who sat under the tree, and the great teacher who came out of the cave, and the great teacher who came down from the mountain, and the great teacher who walked out of the desert, each personally experienced an encounter with the same ultimate reality that cannot be known and cannot be named. And it is this same ultimate reality you and I encounter in our everyday lives if we choose to notice.
They definitely attempted to invite us on a journey. These great teachers each decided to ultimately value the ultimate reality that cannot be known. They decided to personally know the unknowable. To go on this journey, they created a myth or story to hold this relationship of value by naming the name that cannot be named.
This feels really crazy. I don't know if I should be offended or excited.
Yes, I think we are getting it. This is madness to the human mind.
I have a feeling this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I ask and ask again, who plants us on this earth without asking our permission? Who uproots us from this earth without asking our permission? We have seen the highest circle of spiraling powers. We have named this circle God. We might have given it any other name we wished: abyss, mystery, absolute darkness, absolute light, matter, spirit, ultimate hope, ultimate despair, silence. But we have named it God because only this name, for primordial reasons, can stir our hearts profoundly, and this deeply felt emotion is indispensable if we are to touch, body with body, the dread essence beyond logic. I do not care what face other ages and other people have given to the enormous, faceless essence. They have crammed it with human virtues, with rewards and punishments, with certainties. They have given a face to their hopes and fears. They have submitted their anarchy to a rhythm. They have found a higher justification by which to live and labor. They have fulfilled their duty. But today we have gone beyond these needs. We have shattered this particular mask of the abyss. Our God no longer fits under the old features. Let us stoop down to our hearts and confront the abyss valiantly. Let us try to mold once more, with our flesh and blood, the new contemporary face of ultimate reality.
I remember going to bed that night after we spent time going through Bultmann, who raises that question for you about your life and all the various experiences of where you've been felt empowered and where you've been cut off. And I remember lying in bed and just not being able to sleep because it was, you had to wrestle with your life. You weren't wrestling with ideas. And it would be dishonest to say that I was an idea man. And I still am to a great degree. Ideas meant a lot to me. Ideas were real. Ideas are what I lived in and out of. Experience was something sort of that happened that had to get out of the way while I thought about something. And this was such a radical address. All of my connections with religion, theology, the church before that, I had never had anybody talk about the symbol system. the words. First, you have to identify an activity, and then you name it. So, God is not an idea, it's not a concept, it's not a theology. It's an activity that you encounter, or that encounters you, to put it another way. And therefore, when you get encountered by something that throws you up against your limits or throws you into a situation that you would prefer not to have, that is when the question arises, what in the hell's going on right now? You have just encountered that which we call G-O-D. And this had nothing to do with believing in anything. It had to do with experiential.
When you've slain the devil, then you reach out for the prize, the mystery. But it starts to flee. God starts to run. You and I know why he is fleeing. It's because we want to know his name. That is, we want to give God form. We want to give God an image, without which we cannot relate to the mystery. The mystery cannot be named. God cannot be named.
What is it that enables you to take that which has just broken you open and given you a situation that in many cases you'd prefer not to have, but to embrace it as your life? I began to grasp that any time you wish for something other than what you've got, you are trying to escape G-O-D. You're trying to escape from the reality of your life. And therefore, it behooves you to pay attention to what's going on.
Notice when your thoughts argue with reality. The only time we suffer is when we believe a thought that argues with what is. When the mind is perfectly clear, what is what we want. What you think shouldn't have happened, should have happened. It should have happened because it did, and no thinking in the world can change it. This doesn't mean that you condone it or approve of it. It just means that you can see things without resistance and without the confusion of your inner struggle. I am a lover of what is because it hurts when I argue with reality.
We are not lacking in experience of the One. We are only lacking in an ultimate devotion to this One as our God. The word God, like sweetheart, is a devotional word for ultimate concern, final trust, core meaning of my life. The mysterious, enigmatic One is being experienced in every event of our lives. This experience is the one experience that endures when all else passes. If the death of God means anything at all, it means the death of every literalized, human-like construction presumed to exist in some universe next door. No human has experienced a universe next door. This is a myth. A human construction used to assist humans to talk about experiences they've had, and still have, of the One. But the myth itself cannot be taken with scientific literalism. We have not and cannot experience a literal universe next door with gods and goddesses, angels and devils, wings and tails, voices and hands, and all the other poetry that is so familiar with the heritages of the planet. This mode of reflection has indeed died, even for those who still cling to it. This horrific death of God is not just a wild belief held by subversives. It is a cultural happening, a fact of history that is denied by millions. God, as the true, infinite reality, is alive in every event of our lives. Standing immediately behind each neighbor is the infinite neighbor. Shining through each event that happens to us is the infinite challenge of the One. There is no escape from the one infinite reality.
What name do I give to this one that cannot be named? How do I know the unknowable? Suddenly, the core of my life rests upon a decision I didn't realize I was making. A relationship that until now I didn't know I was choosing. What is the story that will guide me into the depth of life? What is the story by which I will grasp my own deepest being and that of my neighbor? The journey continues. Let's go.